look out for some creepy critters. They are red-headed centipedes.
Beachgoers on the Spanish coast are baffled after a mysterious 13-foot creature washed up on shore.
A bunch of people huddled around. We didn't even know what they were huddled around, so we walked over to see what it was, and we saw this dead animal. What is this thing?
I doubt the most famous or iconic monster that has been reported around the world.
Once you are out for exploration, the possibilities of coming across the inexplicable elevate. Be it uncharted beings of watery depths or peculiar figures of parched sands and other completely otherworldly. Join us to unveil the secrets witnessed by an explorer that were never meant to be seen. Our oceans are full of mysteries, and sometimes the waves bring them to the shores just to amuse the onlookers. A group of visitors on a beach in Ireland were given a reminder about how strange the world can be when they encountered this unexplainable being lying on the open sand. It seemed like any normal fish from the back, but when viewed from the front, it reminded them of their darkest nightmares. Although experts had determined that the locals had found a beached carcass of some underwater creature, the decomposition made it almost impossible to figure out what it was. Looks like those visitors and we will have to live with this riddle forever. Hairy sea monster. Not everything that appears at the sandy beaches is easily explainable. Such a thriller turned up on the shore of the Philippines when locals found this hairy sea monster in the seemingly calming sand. Soon, rumors of an upcoming disaster were spread throughout the community, as people believed that it was a bad omen. While some were persistent that they had found an unknown deep sea monster, others had a more of a logical explanation for this find. According to experts, it was just the remains of an animal that could be a whale or something similar. Still, further research was needed to determine the type of the organism. Later, when their reports were published, they stated that this carcass belonged to a whale that had decomposed. Charmander. It does look like a Charmander from Pokemon. Isn't someone supposed to collect them? Just kidding. Despite the uncanny resemblance, that's not a Pokemon. It's a Chinese giant salamander that was found crawling on the grass. Besides its rarity, it has some interesting growth potential, as it can easily reach up to 1.8 meters and surpass all other amphibians in height. The salamander has a large head, small eyes, and dark, wrinkly skin. Its flat, broad head features a wide mouth, round, lidless eyes, and a line of paired tubercles that run around its head and throat. Typically, its color is dark brown with a mottled pattern, but it can also appear in other brownish tones, dark reddish or black. Albinos, which are white or orange, have been recorded. All species of giant salamanders produce a sticky, white skin secretion that repels predators. Ocean monster. Not every fishing trip is normal for the anglers. Sometimes they get to catch unknown creatures like these in place of the regular fish. Although the person who caught this one had spent his entire life catching fish, he could not recognize this species. The bizarre looks and creepy movement even left experts scratching their heads, as this was the first time they had seen anything like it. Some viewers doubted that it could be the bristles worm or some experimental critter brought into existence by the scientists. I mean, who would think like that? The thick, hairy creature that moves in a zigzag manner is no less than a nightmare for sure. Ocean's giant. Nothing is immortal in our world. Even the largest of the organisms can be defeated. In 2021, visitors to Greenland Cove, Bremen, discovered a giant fish on their visit. It was a 26-foot-long basking shark. The scientists rushed to the site to take samples for analysis to determine the age, species, and other features of the marine giant. These are the second largest fish in the ocean and are known as endangered species. The exact reason for its demise was not identified, but experts have emphasized preserving these giants of the ocean. Dragon bird. Are the Cherovitrex coming back to life? Well, at first glance it does look like, but it's just a first glance. There's no way for them to come back to this world. Some Malaysians caught this unknown creature spreading terror in the whole area. It was too big to be a bat, and according to the people, it somewhat resembled a prehistoric being. Once the video was uploaded on the internet, a completely new angle came forward. Netizens speculated that this could be the Kalugu, commonly known as the flying lemur. Yeah, it somewhat looks like a simple Kalugu who lost its way. I must say, it gave some tough time to the villagers. On another instance, an anonymous person shared this video showing dozens of sea animals swimming in the ocean. Their movement was almost hypnotic, making them look otherworldly. If you have any answers on what these were, I'd love to know too. Ancient tortoise. Residents of India had found a mammoth tortoise weighing approximately 92 kilograms casually roaming in their area. The people spotted it on the river's shore and could not help but stare in awe of its grand size. The tortoise, on the other hand, was not so interested and managed to get back in the water where it belonged. These people had never seen anything like it before, so they gathered around and started recording videos before one man helped the critter into the water. Haunted beach. Tourists on a beach in Pattaya, Thailand had a rather disturbing experience when they experienced an unpleasant odor. Shockingly, the source of this smell was a rotten carcass of an ocean creature near the shore, and authorities were soon called on site to investigate it and were equally astounded by the discovery. It wasn't large or heavy, appearing as though it had been in the water for a long time and was washed ashore by heavy tides. Recognizing the need for further examination, the police decided to clear it from the beach and hand it over to marine experts. Bizarre animal. In 2007, on the sand of Ki Phi Phi, Thailand, the travelers found an exquisite animal with structures that look like spines. So indeed, it is a spine-tingling discovery. It looks like a hedgehog, but without a body or face. It is unclear what it is. Could it be the sea urchin? A similar-looking creature was found in 2020 by another person. This one seemed to be moving. The explorer described it to be a sea mouse or a heart urchin, but the exact identity is still to be known. The animal was found buried in the sand 2 inches below. So next time you're on a beach, watch out for this guy, especially if you're barefoot. River dragon. In January 2018, onlookers near the Ginglong River had the most bizarre experience of their lives. As they peeked out of their apartment's window, they spotted something puzzling swimming in the murky waters. Sadly, only some parts of its slithering body and the top of the head were revealed to the public, making it impossible to figure out what it could really be. With only a partial visual available, people started coming up with different answers about the identity of this critter. Some claimed that it was a juvenile dragon, while others were persistent that the locals encountered a monitor lizard swimming with a huge rat in its mouth. But all of these things were just guesses from the public. The reality? I guess we'll never know about that. Tuna to remember. You may have seen fish, even big ones, but you probably haven't seen a giant tuna like this. A female fisher was carrying out her regular fishing day when she hoisted this behemoth from the depths. It was no less than her dream day. Although it was hoisted, the rest was yet to be done to bring it on the boat. It was never gonna be easy. She first struggled and used all her force with the help of an excavator. Finally succeeding in getting this epic tuna on board. A day to remember for her life and a tuna to remember for her clients. Extra head. This is no ordinary silver awana. It's a rare two-headed specimen. Witnessing such an occurrence underwater is nothing short of a miracle and uncovers the unresolved mysteries our oceans hold. The fish has one normal head and another attached to its lower body, providing a line of sight to cover its back. I bet it could spot prey with its front eyes and protect itself from predators approaching from the back. Although it looks like a scene from a sci-fi movie, this is possible due to bicephaly, which is often the result of developmental abnormalities during embryogenesis. Although the fish was captured in the ocean, but was never brought to the market. Instead, it has been preserved in a museum due to its rarity. Unwelcomed Catch. While this fisherman had set his trap for the crabs, it came back with an unwelcome guest. This was none other than the wolf eel, also known as the fish wolf. Its creepy looks and serpent-like body were enough to scare anyone who'd encounter this underwater monster.
Crazy looking critter. Alright, we gotta get rid of it. Hit the trusty.
It most probably got caught in the net while munching on the crabs. The angler was fascinated by their discovery, but being a responsible fisherman, he decided against bringing it on board and instead released the wolffish back into the water where it truly belonged.
How we do it on the friendliest cat.
I'm glad he used proper precautions in doing so. A bite from those jaws can leave some nightmarish memories for a long time. Sunbathing.
I need help. I need help to flip it. Oh, this.
It looked like a turtle was sunbathing by lying upside down on the beach. Unfortunately, that was not the case here. This poor turtle had found itself in a bad situation, as he got trapped in a small hole upside down. Its buddy was waiting in the water.
I need help. I need help to flip it. Oh, this one?
Waiting for help. Thankfully, these two men spotted the turtle and went in for a rescue. Once it was flipped to its original position, the turtle wasted no time and ran into the water to its friend. Nothing is more satisfying than saving a life. If ever given an opportunity, never hesitate to help. Unsolved Mystery. Here is another wonder of the ocean world. I don't know about you, but this animal definitely resembles some otherworldly life. The video was filmed by a group of friends exploring the coastal areas of Rayong, Thailand. Initially, it was thought to be a squid that made its way to the surface, but a clearer view revealed a jaw-dropping feature, the double-toned skin. It's amazing how this creature can swiftly move just like an acrobat. The reality of this encounter is still a riddle for many, as no one could identify the truth of this encounter. This is not the first case of the ocean, nor will it be the last. Lion's paw. If you ever go diving, stay cautious from anything that looks like this. This is a lion's paw sea cucumber. It also has a good length covered in a yellow layer, giving a sight of a lion underwater, and that's why it's called a lion's paw. Its official name is E. godoferi, a long, slender sea cucumber growing to a length of about 40 centimeters. And don't be fooled by their appearance, they play an important role in the underwater world. These little guys are the ocean's tidy-uppers, munching on tiny particles in the sand and helping keep the seabed clean. They're not just important cleaners, they're also a treat for some sea creatures, making them the unsung heroes of the ocean. Gooey Creature. In 2018, a beachgoer in Thailand came across this mysterious sea creature washed up on the shore. It had a splendid color and a gum-like looking sticky appearance. This anonymous sea animal is actually the sea anemone, so you can say it's anonymous. See what I did there? It usually stays in deep water, but this was a rare occurrence of it being on the ground. This could be due to the huge tides in the sea that left this creature here, away from its home. The beachgoer even poked around to check what she had found. The anemones, on the other hand, clung to the rock to avoid risks of it being lost forever. Maybe this woman was trying to help the creature get back to the ocean. Diving beetle. I'm sure it's my first time witnessing a bug eating a fish. Just see how they've swarmed over the fish in the pond, leaving no room for others. These are diving beetles, and it's quite normal for them. I don't know about you, but I never expected bugs to be eating fish. The diving beetles are quite the global travelers and can be found in Australia, Africa, and the major continents. These little critters, found in ponds and streams, are amazing underwater adventurers. They have sleek, streamlined bodies that make them super swimmers. When it comes to diet, well, you just saw they can eat anything that comes in their way. Plants, tadpoles, other insects, and even fish. These insects show us that big adventures can come in small packages. Deep sea monster. A family had visited the Rukaka beach and were greeted by this giant structure lying in the sand. As opposed to their thoughts of it being some monster, the reality was far more interesting. Turns out these were gooseneck barnacles. These odd yet marvelous creatures are neither sea animals or insects. They are crustaceans that stick on hard surfaces like logs or rocks to get their food. Let me tell you something that is even more shocking. People eat them. Yeah, you heard that right. In Portugal and Spain, they are considered a delicacy. Sea salps.
Themselves around the ocean and filter it. You know, they're filters.
If you ever dive in the water and get touched by something invisible, don't be afraid. They would be sea salps. More precisely, crystal salps, which may not be seen due to their transparent appearance. A man had caught a lot of them and just observed how transparent and soft they were. Most of the time, they are found in a long chain, as it is easy for them to get food and protect themselves from predators, as they do not have specific organs to move. They usually depend on the water, which they store and use as propulsion, which gives them the force to move from one place to another instantly. Such a glassy creature. Alien ribbons. Did the devil just let its pet loose? I'm pretty sure we all need answers right now. Luckily, you don't need to fear for your life because these were simply ribbon worms that had evolved to take up these horrifying looks. In addition to that, they can spit out this creepy branch-like thing. Yeah, I think that just made matters worse.
Whoa, there we go. This is toxic branching.
That is the exploding proboscis, a snappy tongue-like organ that these worms use to catch their food. These creepy critters can survive in shallow waters and even on land. So, if you ever go to the beach, make sure you keep an eye on where you're stepping. Gray blob. Imagine this creature crawls onto your boat. What would be your reaction? Would you be fascinated by its uniqueness or grossed by its appearance? In 2019, a peculiar jelly-like sea creature was captured by a fisherman in the Gulf of Thailand. The man was working near the shores of Songkla when he observed the presence of a gray blob in his net. Intrigued by its look, he placed the creature on a wooden bench. The creature seemed to be decomposed of dense gray mucilage with numerous black spots within each cell. As the young man was not able to identify it, he asked for help online. But unfortunately, no one was able to figure out its species. Well, some puzzles are never solved. Mermaid Sculpture. While exploring the dense forest, a hiker had most probably prepared himself for an encounter with wild animals, but nothing could prepare him for finding this. It looked like a sculpture made of stone, but one that oddly resembles mermaids. Can be a bit creepy. That too in the middle of a remote forest. The man was too freaked out for a closer inspection, but he explored the area nearby to find someone for further investigation. Even then, there was no trace of any community or person who could have placed the eerie object there. Here he realized it was best just to leave the mermaid alone and carry on with his hike. But the questions about its reality forever haunted his thoughts. Water blobs. If you cracked this one, you're the smartest person in my eyes. A TikTok had come across these water blobs lying in the sands on an undisclosed beach. And I must say, he had the guts to pick up some unknown object from the beach. As usual, he presented the internet with the riddle to determine what these were, and they had different opinions on his find. While many had some solid guesses, calling them some creature's eggs, some jokingly referred to them as implants. Well, in my opinion, these jiggly balls look more like alien eggs. What do you guys think? Humanoid fish. The Turkish fish market gets multiple fish daily, but on one particular day, they encountered something clearly out of the ordinary. An angler brought in this odd critter that looked like a cross between a human and a fish. These peculiar eyes and creepy smile gave off a horror vibe, gathering several people from across the city. Everyone was excited to see the mystery fish that baffled even the most experienced fishermen who had spent their whole lives at the sea. Some of them claimed that the fish was a result of a hybrid experiment gone wrong, while others identified it as a guitar fish. Whatever the case was, this one played with the minds of every viewer. Rare Mola. Catching a big fish is always the ultimate dream of fishermen, but releasing one back in the ocean is not everyone's cup of tea.
What an incredible...
These fishermen were in the middle of the sea, carrying out their usual day. However, this time they accidentally hooked a Mola fish, which is one of its kind and epic in size. Just look at its appearance. It could easily fetch these fishermen a lot of money, but this fish was rare, and being responsible men, the kind-hearted fishermen decided not to take it back with them. They released their treasure back into the water and set an example for others to keep the rare beauty of the oceans alive. Ginger seal. You may have seen albino seals, but I'm pretty sure you haven't seen a seal like this before. The ginger-colored baby seal was witnessed on the coast of Russia, and it stood out from its typically black-colored family. Once its video was posted to the internet, the pup won the hearts of the whole social media community. This is the first time such an occurrence has happened in the seal family. Even though the pup looks adorable to us, the ginger fur could be a hurdle in its survival in the wild. On top of that, there was also a chance of being shunned by its family and being forced to live on its own. Therefore, marine biologists decided to monitor the rare pup to ensure that it could get a fair chance at life. But so far, he was seen living the best life. Vibrant lobster.
And that is probably one of the prettiest blues
and whites I've ever seen.
There's always a surprise in the ocean, folks. Always. Sometimes it's the sheer size of sea animals that leaves us in awe. And then it's the unimaginable colors that shock us. Take this lobster for an example. It initially seemed like the main character from a fictional movie, but it was real, and the vibrant color caught the attention of the fishermen. Just look at its bright blue hue, as if someone had caught this creature and painted it. But that's not the case here. This is its natural color. The person who caught this magnificent creature compared it with a regular-looking lobster, highlighting the color difference between them. Finds like these remind me that there are still many wonders in the water waiting to be explored. Heartful Rescue. While enjoying a calming walk on the beach, these men came across something totally unexpected. They found 2 seals who had gotten entangled in a fishing net that they probably got from the ocean debris. But there was still hope for survival, as these kind-hearted men were willing to put in the effort to free the animals. One of them had a cutter that he used to get rid of the wires, and the others tried to calm down the animal. At one point, the pups even stayed still, as if they had known that these men were there to help. Once the net was cut, one of them was freed from the entanglement, but it didn't enter the water without its companion. As its friend was freed, both returned to their homes happily, and even celebrated with a goofy walk. Spider look-alike.
Resemble a sea spider, but I don't think sea spiders go quite
In 2023, explorers in southwestern Flank discovered an extraordinary organism, but they were not even sure about its identity themselves.
It's not a sea spider. It's a type of isopod that I actually have never seen before.
Initially, they thought it was an isopod, but after the video went viral, it was identified to be a squat lobster in the family Chirostolid. They are usually found at a depth of about 2,000 in the sea. These guys are not just mesmerizing at sight, but also valuable organisms for scientific study.
Is this some sort of arthropod?
Yeah, so it's not a sea spider.
The taxonomy of the squat lobsters has been intensively studied over the past few decades, making them one of the most known deep water crustacean groups. As a result, they have attracted the attention of deep sea ecologists, using them as test organisms for various hypotheses about deep water ecological processes and biogeography. Lost in circles. I know it looks like these worms are performing some demonic ritual, but I've got a reasonable explanation for this occurrence. In 2021, this strange behavior of worms was recorded by a man in his back garden. A lot of worms were continuously moving in a circle. Creepy, isn't it? Even the person who filmed this phenomenon thought this was some kind of tradition or plot of food heist. In reality, these tiny worms are called fungus gnat larvae, and they are performing the ringing or circling. Scientists are not sure about its purpose, but they are assumptions that it may be concerned with feeding behavior, environmental protection, or communication. I'm sure the man was not brave enough to gently move a part of the circle so that the larvae would start to move in a straight line. Of course, he would not want to direct them toward his house, but somewhere else. Underwater bugs. Another fisherman from Thailand made a shocking discovery when his fishing net came back with loads of mysterious critters in place of the normal fish he was hoping to catch. He pulled it out and was surprised to see hundreds of puzzling bugs in the net. Although he had seen bugs before, hundreds of them together, and that too in a fishing net, is not something we see every day. The angler had no idea what to do with his ominous discovery. He had shown them to his friends and the locals as well, but no one seemed to know. He later returned them to the same water, hoping never to come across such an anomaly again. Snake Zenia. Looks like the Snake Zenia game has come to life. Well, it does resemble that character, but it's not the same. As soon as the video was uploaded to the internet, it caught the attention of many who came forward with different guesses. Some called it a monster, making ready to take over the world. Others referred to it as some microorganism. Whatever it was, it has a creepy personality. If you know this species, mention it in the comments below. Holy stones. Residents of Mudra Pradesh village of India had spent their entire lives for several generations worshipping some stones, only to find out that they were fossilized dinosaur eggs. These were found during the farming of their fields. These people had been worshipping them with coconuts and even their cattle during rains, believing that their gods would provide protection. Imagine their surprise when experts revealed these stones were fossils from a time when dinosaurs roamed over 65 million years ago. This area, rich in prehistoric tales, even boasts a Dinosaur Fossil National Park and reveals the mysteries our planet holds. Idiot Saurus.
No way. What is that?
Imagine going out for a calming stroll, and you come across an alleged dinosaur fossil. Such an incident was shared by a man who spotted this odd object on his way, and while jumping to conclusions, he guessed that it could be a dinosaur fossil.
Oh, I can't believe I found this, guys. What kind of dinosaur is this?
He even shared the video on the internet to find the actual answer, and let me tell you, it was not so special at all. People and experts clarified in the comments section that it belonged to a beaver. So if you ever find something in the forest, make sure you check your information right. We all are afraid of the giant centipedes that roam the planet, but what if I tell you they used to be as big as an average human of this time? Let's go back to the old times, more than 300 million years ago, when super big millipedes lived in northern England. Scientists found out about them recently because of a cool fossil found on a beach in Howick, Northumberland. The fossil is the biggest one ever of a giant millipede called Arthropleura, and it showed up when part of a cliff fell onto the shore. The part found here was about 75 centimeters long, and experts think the whole millipede could have been about 2.7 meters long and weighed 50 kilograms. I'm glad they have evolved to become smaller now. There's no way we could coexist with a millipede in this age. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.